Hey everyone, Jeffrey Turner here. I'm trying to contain my excitement. I had a pretty awkward day for the most part because I had scheduled a scene study with a partner, and when I showed up, my acting coach, had thought that I had made a cancellation. It wasn't the case. And I was actually able to catch up with my scene study partner. Got to learn a little bit about her. She learned a little bit about me. We discovered what our priorities are and related those to each other. But it wasn't class, it wasn't training. So that kind of sucks. It was a bonding experience, and I might be able to act better with her when the time comes. But that's not the best part, or the worst part, I should say. I also had a free actors workshop hosted by Art Lynch, who is an acting coach in Las Vegas. And when I arrived to the studio that he rents 3 times a month to do these acting classes, they were having another showcase because it was a gallery, it was for artists, and they recently started to include authors once a month to showcase their books to coincide with the art. So it wasn't just one-dimensional. All well and good. I arrived an hour early to the acting workshop and found out that they were doing this palette and pen workshop or showcase. And they were going from 2:30 to 4. The acting class was from 3 to 5:30. So I called the coach for the actors workshop, and I let him know that that was going on. It turns out somebody new who started a day or 2 or 3 or 5 days before started working and set this up without knowing the schedule. Of course, they were new. Fortunately for me, I was the only person to show up to the class. And I shook the hand of Art, introduced myself. I had left him a message, basically RSVP, that I would be at the workshop. And through my commitment to showing up, to learning, he decided that he would stick around and talk with me. He came to do an acting workshop, and one actor showed up, so that was pretty awesome that it was me. And through 2 mistakes today, something came from it. I was able to have a free one-on-one consultation, which is a $45 to $60 value. And he basically taught me about the business and what he's been doing with the business here in Las Vegas. He gave me so much advice that I could not recite it in the next 2 minutes. But basically, he gave me a way that I can approach training. He gave me some advice in that any acting training is really the opinion of the acting coach. And anyone who gives you advice is really giving you advice from years past, things that have worked. But this is a different industry than it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And he's trying to keep up with the times and teach the things that someone who wants to act today can actually use. And another piece of advice is that the best advice comes from fellow actors, those that are in your area and that are doing the same thing you're doing, and they'll tell you what works and what doesn't work, because they're going through it currently. He was an old actor. He does some acting still, art, but this is a new game for younger players. And when you're just starting out, there's a lot of things you got to learn. And I was able to ask every question that I had. And as long as I was listening, he would speak. And it was basically just the best experience that I've had in my acting career so far, other than, of course, and I am thankful for finding the group that I'm working with that will provide credits, resume, demo reel, headshots at no cost. But he gave me an insight into the business. And then at the end, he offered me his card, and he asked me to write down my contact information in his address book, which I was truly flattered that he appreciated how I was listening to him. And it was just refreshing in that I can meet new people that are still excited to meet new actors. I've only met Ryan from my current group as a coach, and now I'm ready to take the next step. So I still appreciate you guys keeping up with me and learning what I'm doing. And maybe next week I'll have another acting class or workshop or one-on-one consultation that I can tell you about my development. So I appreciate you all keeping up with me. This is my longest video so far, but it was from the heart. So again, thank you, and have a wonderful life.